The Waqf Amendment Bill was cleared by the Joint Parliamentary Committee after 16 NDA members voted for it and 10 members of the India bloc voted against it. Many India bloc members, such as DMK's A. Raja and TMC's Kalyan Banerjee, said the voting was not done in a democratic manner. However, committee chairperson Jagdambika Pal said that it could not have been any more democratic. The bill, proposing 44 amendments to the existing Waqf Act of 1995, seeks to reform the governance and management of Waqf properties. However, these changes have raised concerns about autonomy, fairness, and the potential impact on the Muslim community.
Particularly the demand of the opposition, particularly the India alliance, was that some of the basic features of the old act, Waqf Act, should remain intact, especially the composition of the Central Waqf Council, now which gives a great kind of autonomy to the Central Waqf Council. It comes under the religious freedom guaranteed by the Constitution of India. Article 25 of the Constitution of India guarantees religious freedom. So that is in alignment with the particularly those that was the basic feature of the original act, Waqf Act. So that they have in the amendment that was introduced and then that was taken to the Joint Parliamentary Committee, the amendment alters the composition of the Central Waqf Council. That changes the very nature of the original act, Waqf Act. So that is what they wanted to restore some of the basic features of the act that will allow for the freedom of the practice of the religion.
One of the more significant amendments proposed by the committee is that the existing Waqf properties cannot be questioned on the grounds of Waqf by user, which existed in the current law but will be omitted in the new version if the properties are being used for religious purposes. The concept of Waqf by user applies to when properties used for religious or community purposes for a long period were automatically recognized as Waqf.
What the new law is saying is that they should be registered within 6 months of the act coming into being. And some of the members that who are aware of how these properties are managed. So the new registration process will put a new kind of economic burden on the people, the users. Currently, it is more like a lot of poor people are making use of these properties. A lot of poor merchants, poor people are making use of these properties. Now, currently the new demand for registration will bring in new kind of economic burden on the whole system. Inclusion of women in the whole system is a welcome move. The inclusion of even non-Muslims in the committee is okay. But the whole idea of bringing in regulation where the regulation cannot be paid for. For example, when you have a system where the compliance cost is much bigger than the actual cost or the actual benefit that you are getting, then it becomes very difficult to navigate and manage. So that seems to be the problem. Most of the BJP ruled states, the Muslims were dealt with very badly. They were dehumanized. The philosophy of hatred and division that is driving the ruling dispensation, that has led to a huge trust deficit with the union government. When you have dehumanized the community, how will you do it fairly? That is the question. It is a question of trust deficit with the state, and most of this is hard-earned money of the Muslim community, and they are not inherited completely. In some parts of India, it is inherited, but if you take places like Tamil Nadu, they are not inherited property. Most of the time, they build their place of worship and to run the place of worship, then they buy property like any other community across India. That is what they do. It is the hard-earned money of ordinary folks, ordinary people out there.
Meanwhile, the DMK has said it will move the Supreme Court against the proposed Waqf law once it is passed. The government will move the bill for passage in Parliament once it convenes from January 31st for the budget session.